Hey everyone, I hope you are having a wonderful day so far. I am just dropping this special little clip into all the episodes. So, no matter what episode you're listening to, this is actually pretty current as of July 2024. I wanted to come on here and just say a big thank you to Earworthy because the Life Shift podcast was just named the best overall podcast of the year in the first Earworthy Independent Podcast Awards. And you've probably seen some articles written about the Life Shift podcast before, written by Earworthy. And now he is launching from his online publication, he is launching these yearly winners of independent podcast awards. And these are specifically for indie podcasters. We are those that wear all the hats. We create the show. Some people write the show. We're producers, sound engineers. We troubleshoot all the tech. We do any kind of research if we need to. We host the shows. We distribute the shows. We do all the things that relate to our shows because we love it. And it's so nice to see my name in a list with some other amazing podcasts like Multispective, which won Best Life Lessons Podcast. Salad with a Side of Fries won Best Health Podcast. Bippity Boppity Business won Best Business Advice Podcast. And there are so many more. And so I just want to come on here and say thank you to Earworthy for not only doing these awards every year and just honoring some of us indie podcasters that sometimes feel like we're just shouting into the void, but we're not. We're just doing what brings us joy, and hopefully through that work it brings other people joy. In my case, for the Life Shift, I hope that each episode finds the ears that needed to hear it the most so that they feel a little less alone in their circumstance. But also, Earworthy writes all these amazing publications pretty much weekly, every week, every weekday, I should say, where he writes on Blogger, Medium, Substack, Tumblr, Vocal, Many Stories, and for other places. And he really just highlights the independent podcasters. So thank you, Frank, for everything you do with Earworthy and for recognizing all of us in the first Earworthy Independent Podcast Awards. If you'd like to read more, please head to medium.com/EAR hyphen WORTHY. Thanks again and enjoy this episode. Hello, my friends. This is another preview to a bonus episode that we do over on the Patreon feed. And so with these bonus episodes, I like to go back to former guests and just catch up with them based on what we talked about on their show and see if things have changed a little bit. Maybe they had some feedback from people that they didn't expect, or maybe they just learned something new about themselves by sharing the story. And so in this clip, I wanted to share just a little piece of the latest conversation that I had. If you're interested in checking out the full bonus episodes, you can head over to the Patreon page, which is www.thelifeshiftpodcast.com/join. And there is a special tier that gets you ad-free episodes, early release episodes, and the bonus episodes. Come on over, check out the Patreon community, and see how you can support the show if you're interested. But without further ado, here's a preview of the latest bonus episode.
I like you, maybe not as
You like me?
much.
Thank you.
I like you.
Maybe not as much.
Maybe not as much as you are, but I, like you, am a story collector. And I love to just and I gravitate towards those as people too. Like my partner, loves to collect people's stories. Like he can't get enough of talking to people and random strangers and reading just stories about people's lives, and we're both, I think that's something that connects us, is that we're both big story collectors,
Well, and I think that's, I feel like people in our generation that are kind of opening their eyes in the last 5-10 years are we need to start sharing those. Like I said before, we need to start sharing the real parts of us and just being, I hate the word authentic, but just being real people.
Yeah,
because for so
absolutely.
long it was guys, I got into this college. Guys, I have a 4.0. Guys, I got this job. I got promoted, and those were the only things we were sharing for so long. And now it's like, guys, I have a drinking problem or whatever it may be. And that's
Yeah.
okay.
It's where like I see all this stuff on social media all the time about like breaking generational trauma but like honestly, I think that that's like what a lot of us are trying to do is like we see how emotionally unavailable the adults in our lives were when we were coming up and what that did to us. And like we went through it, like, Columbine, 9/11. There's those lists of like, here's all the shit that millennials have lived through, right? And like, why are we upset? And like, but why are we also not phased? And why are we also like, go ahead, do whatever you want? Like, nothing phases us anymore.
But I think that's having an impact. I mean, you can see it directly in the conversation or the example that you just gave of your son, is that,
Yeah.
whatever you're putting into the world and that he's seeing and absorbing,
Yeah.
he now wants to help others. So, I
And
mean, you're already breaking
he's
it.
so in touch with his emotions
Good.
and
I wasn't allowed to
sharing
cry.
how he feels. And yeah. And like, he's got a lot of emotions, so it can be hard. But, I think it's important that we stop just trying to smush all of kids' emotions back into them.